How to sharpen your mower blades. There's two different methods that I use, so let's get started. Once your blades are removed, we want to place them in a vice grip or a clamp or any apparatus you may have in your garage or shop. That way we can secure these blades so they don't move while we're actively working on them. Once your blade is secure, we're going to clean it off real quick with some compressed air, then make a pass with the wire brush attachment on the power drill, followed by a final pass with the compressed air. As always, when working with sharp objects or flying debris, be sure to equip yourself with gloves and safety glasses. Now that your blade is secure and free of rust and debris, we can begin sharpening. So there's two different methods that I use when it comes to sharpening my blades. The first is using a traditional file, easy to obtain, very affordable, very precise. And the other is using an angle grinder with a sandpaper disc on the end. So the advantages of using the traditional file, other than its affordability if you don't already have an angle grinder handy, is you can get a lot more precision out of each pass. As you lift the file between each single stroke, you're able to observe the surface of the area you're working on, which will determine how you move forward with your technique as you reshape the blade's edge. With the angle grinder, you're going to be able to remove material much faster, but some disadvantages include removing too much material than needed because of the rate of speed of the disc, and it obstructing the view of the area that you're actively working on and sharpening. So when using the angle grinder, just use caution with your technique not to damage the blade and for safe practice. Regardless of which tool we're using, we want to guide it on the surface in the same orientation as the blade. So with a file, there's usually one side that's more coarse than the other. So that's the side that we're going to begin sharpening with, and then we're going to do another pass after with the other side. So once you're ready to begin, you want to make sure that your file is angled properly in the right direction, in the same orientation of the blade's edge. Then each pass we make, we're going to lift between each stroke. We're going to observe the surface area. That way, if we need to make any adjustments in the direction or orientation of the file, we can. So that's how I sharpen my blades with a traditional file. Definitely not perfect, but much sharper than before. I think I'm actually due for new mower blades soon at some point anyway. But next, I'm going to show you guys how to do it with the angle grinder. Alright guys, as long as your vice grip is secure, we're ready to start sharpening with the angle grinder. Same concept applies, just make sure you're following the orientation of the blade's edge. And we're going to exercise a little bit more caution considering we're using a high velocity power tool. So gloves and glasses, and you're ready to go. Alright guys, I've accomplished sharpening the blades with the angle grinder. I was able to get through it much faster versus the file, but you should practice what you're most comfortable with and what's best depending on the condition of your blades. Now that the blades are squared away, let's get them reinstalled in the mower and ready for the next cut.